Hello students, today we're going to be talking about some more verbs, but we're going to be talking about past tense verbs. Okay, verbs that are in the past tense. So past tense verbs are verbs that tell us about something that has already happened. It's happened in the past, something that's already been done. It's not happening now. It's not happening in the future. It's happened in the past. It's already happened, okay? Now, most of the time, when you are changing a verb to a past tense verb, you add ed to the end of the word to make it past tense. Walked, talked, painted, laughed, okay? But with our special sound ed, there are three sounds that the ed makes. Three sounds, okay? So we're going to look over the three sounds here, and then we're going to talk about the first one. This one is very, very common, the ed in wantED. It says ed, 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 d, d, d. The e makes a short e sound, and the d just says d, d, d. Okay, so we have ed and wantED. Then we have t and looked, looked. The ed sounds like a t, 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 t. Looked, looked. Okay, so this ed says t. And then this ed says d, 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 d. It makes a D sound. So the E, you don't hear the E, you only hear the D. D, d, d in played. Played. Okay? So the first one is wantED. Sounds like a short E with a D. wantED. Looked, just a T sound. And played, just a D sound. But today, we're going to look at wantED. We're going to look at some examples that say ed, E, D, short E, D, ed, ed, ed in wantED. Okay? So let's look at some examples of our ed and wantED. Sounds like a short E with a D. Not all past tense verbs with an ed make the sound. There are three sounds that go with ed. Three. But we're going to look at our first sound, which is ed. And these are some examples of the ed that makes the ed, ed, ed sound. Okay? So remember, a past tense verb is something that has happened in the past. Not now, not in the future, but in the past. So we're going to be talking about something that's already happened. It's done, it's finished, it's already happened, okay? So last spring, the farmer planted some seeds, okay? So this sounds like a short E with a D. Now, we don't need to put that there, but it's what it sounds like, okay? This is a special sound ed, and it sounds like d, ed, okay? Planted. In the fall, he harvested his crop, okay? So harvest with the ed, harvested, d, in the past, okay? So he planted the seeds last spring, and he harvested them in the fall. He already did it. It's in the past. It's finished. It's already happened, okay? But these eds are ed, 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 and wantED, okay? Yesterday, my grandma painted a flower. Painted, ed, painted, okay? All of these sound like a short E with a D sound, ed, 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 okay? 2 days ago, I fainted from the sun, okay? So 2 days ago, in the past, I fainted from the sun. So 2 days ago, I faint, ed. Ed in wantED, okay? And then with this one, on Saturday, we lifted the boxes. So on Saturday, in the past, we lifted the boxes. Ed. Short E sound, d. Ed. This morning, I waited for my brother. Waited. Ed. Wait. Ed. Okay, so all of these red words are our verbs, but we added this ed to the end of them, which is a suffix, to make them past tense, okay? Something that's already happened, okay? So planted. Harvested. Now with these eds, these are the sounds that sound like d in wantED. There are 3 sounds that ed can make, but these examples are the example of ed in wantED, which sounds like a short e and a d sound, okay? And the more that you read and you talk, you'll be able to recognize which ones make ed sound or make the t sound or the d sound, okay? But not all verbs that have the ed at the end make this sound, okay? There are 3 sounds that the ed makes. But with this one, we have gone over the ed and wantED. It's a short e with a d sound. Now here are some more examples, okay? Landed, shouted, tested, dusted, waited, pointed, okay? Now many of these, if you notice on these words, many of them have a T at the end. Okay? With this special sound, if it ends with a T or a D, then it's usually ed. For example, landed. Okay, T, D, T. All of these examples have a T. This one has a D. Normally, when you have a T or a D at the end of your root word, it will make the ed and wantED sound. Ed, okay? So if there's a T or a D at the end of your root word, then it's usually ed at the end, okay? So this is our first example of the 3 sounds that ed makes when you are taking a verb and making it past tense, okay? So these are some past tense verbs, which tells you something that's happened in the past. It's already happened. Very good, students. That'll be all for today. Bye.